So my broad area of interest is in galaxy evolution. So I explore one of the many big questions in galactic astronomy, that is, how do galaxies die? So a galaxy is considered to be young when it is active and when it is forming a lot of new and young stars in it. And on the other hand, a galaxy is considered to be a dead galaxy or a passive galaxy when it is in a rather quiet stage and it is no longer active and it is no longer showing any new star formation activity. So the figure on the left shows you an example of a young galaxy, which is actively forming stars. So this is a spiral-shaped galaxy, which is very similar to our own Milky Way. And here, each of the bright spots that you are seeing is a star. And the brown patches are the regions where star is being actively formed right now. And the figure on the right is a passive galaxy. So the light coming from this galaxy is much dimmer because there is no young stars that are forming in this galaxy. So the summary here is that a definition of whether a galaxy is active or passive or dead depends on how much star formation activity is going on right now. But then we have to understand how the galaxies form these stars. So galaxies actually have lots of gas in it, and that gas eventually becomes cold and dense, and they come and stick together, and they generate these massive bodies that eventually form stars. So the key point here is the word cold and dense gas, which is very essential for forming stars. So in order to stop the formation of the stars, you need to prevent the gas to be cold and dense. So in other words, you need some sort of heating source or some energy that would prevent the gas to be cold. And then thereby that would prevent the star formation. And that is where our massive, gigantic black holes come into the picture. So every galaxy has a supermassive black hole in their center. Black hole is an extremely massive and dense object that just attracts and eats up everything that it can find around it, similar to what we are seeing here in this animation. And this orange color basically shows all this matter that is being eaten up by this black hole. And this black hole actually sometimes bursts, giving off radiation and energy in polar direction in the form of winds or jets. So to summarize, our theory is that from a gigantic black hole that resides in every galaxy, this black hole-driven winds sometimes just turns on and it hits the gas in the galaxy, and this heating prevents the cooling of the gas, and it thereby stops the star formation. And this leads to the death of the galaxies. But there is one thing that we should note, that the simulation that I was showing before, it was just an animation, it was a simulation, it was not real. So it's really difficult to actually observe this black hole-driven winds in action and disentangle them from other, observational signature of a galaxy. Our group has actually found from real observational data a group of passive galaxies that show signatures of black hole-driven winds. So we call these galaxies the red geysers. So as you can imagine, the word geysers actually comes from because the winds look like a fountain. So the left plot here is actually seen in the radio frequency of light, and the right is in optical light. And you can see these large-scale jets or winds that is being driven out in these galaxies. So in my papers, Roy et al. 2018 and 2021, we discuss in detail how we know that, one, these galaxies actually have black holes in the center, and two, how we know that the things that we are seeing in these images are actually black hole-driven winds. So this is actually one of the very few and exciting evidences of black hole winds that has been directly observed in passive galaxies. And these are probably causing the galaxy to stop forming stars. Right now, I'm trying to figure out the exact mechanism or the physics by which these winds can deposit their energy to the surrounding gas, and how efficient they are really in actually stopping the star formation. And because that's the only way we can actually check the feasibility of our proposed theory that I talked about earlier. So, yeah, thank you.